guys? I'm Bob, cranky old dude from my reaction channel. This is a new channel that I've started. It's called Now What with KOD, cranky old dude. Um, anyways, I wanted to talk to you guys about different things. And one of the things that came to my mind was thinking about my grandson when he came up and told me he was going to be getting married barely out of high school. What the hell? Why would you freaking want to get married right after high school? You know, and so I was talking to him, and the first question I asked is, why? And he said, because I love her, blah, 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 blah. You know, you're 18 years old, dude. You don't know love yet. You just don't. I'm sorry. All you teenagers out there who think at 18 you know it all, you don't. Trust me, because I was one of them that thought I knew it all. So, first thing I told him was, you haven't even had any experiences. Life, whatever. You're 18 years old. Go live your life a little bit. Go be a whore. You know, go out there and meet girls and have fun. And if you love her, then you're going to be back, you know, and vice versa. She may be the same way. I don't know. All I know is, in my opinion, just my opinion, and I'm just some old bastard, you know, sitting here talking, and I'm just one of them talking heads like most of y'all all say about people that do say these things, and we don't know nothing, blah, 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 blah. But the fact of the matter is I could have been one of them at 18 and said, yeah, you know, and ran off and got married and be stuck. You know, 18 or 19, you're having a kid. Now you got a kid and a wife to take care of. And then next thing you know, you got another kid. And you're only 21. You got 2 or 3 kids. And now you're 25 and you got 3 or 4 kids. And so on. And so, to me, that's stupid. That's why we have so many divorces nowadays. I've been with my wife for 40 plus years. We met when I was 21. And you're saying, well, Cranky, you just said from teenage to 20 plus, you know, and yeah, but here's the difference. I was a whore. I went out there and there's all kinds of craziness. I mean, I remember when I was in high school, I got caught one year on Valentine's Day by the 3 girls that I was dating at the same time. They showed up at my place, and I was roommating with a friend of mine, and luckily he caught me before I pulled up, because 2 of them were at my house sitting there waiting for me, and I got caught. I was a whore, plain and simple. I was screwing this one and that one and everything in between, and then at 18, when I was 18, the drinking age was 18. So I was working in a bar, I was DJing, I was drinking and drugs and partying and chasing skirts and doing all this stuff. And by the time I hit 21, I was burnt out. I mean, honestly and truly, I was going hard, and I mean real hard. There was times where, God, I mean, we would stay up until 5:30, 6 in the morning, partying in the bar after the bar closed. And I mean, the stuff we did in that bar, oh Lord. If there was recordings, you know, these cell phones with cameras and everything back then, I'd have either been in jail or dead for sure. If there was social media and the camera phones and all that back when I was being a whore and everything else, I'd have been in jail or I'd be dead. Plain and simple. I mean, I was cheating on girls. I was freaking jumping from one to the other. And, you know, I remember on one of my graduation parties I went to, I don't remember what all happened. All I know is I woke up the next morning. We were at the lake. And I woke up the next morning, and all I had was my shorts on that weren't buttoned or zipped. uh, my girlfriend at the time wasn't speaking to me anymore, and her best friend kept calling me, so I guess I did something there. But yeah, I mean, I was just freaking. I was terrible. I was a terrible kid. I say that, but I didn't kill nobody. I didn't rob nobody. You know, I probably wasn't the best role model for anyone at the time either. I can tell you that for sure. I freaking smoked a lot of weed, drank way too much. You know, a buddy of mine, he passed away. He was my roommate, and he drank a lot. We both drank a lot back then. You know, we had big parties at my house. We had keg parties at my house when I was 16, 17, 18, 19 was about where it kind of eased off on the parties that we had at the house. But I remember we had keg parties, and one Halloween we had a masquerade party, and the cops pulled up, and we thought we were all going to jail. My mom and my stepdad were out there barbecuing for us, and kind of trying to keep us in check. But when you're talking about how big some of my parties got, there was no way. But we had a cop pull up, and we thought we were toast. My mom and my stepdad probably end up in jail if it had been in today. They'd end up in jail. But the cop walked up and he said, "Yeah, I got a complaint." And my mom and my stepdad asked, what was it? And he said, "Well, someone threw a can in someone's yard and they need to go pick it up." And then my stepdad offered the cop a plate and sat there and he ate while all these minors were in the backyard and in the garage out of sight, just drinking and partying away in the back, until he left. And then when he left, we all funneled back out front. Yeah, I mean, shoot, we did crazy stuff like that. I remember my car, when I got my first car, and me and a bunch of friends, we decided we were going to this club called Rockies, and it was drink and drown night. We paid $10, and you drank as much as you wanted to. And it was, you weren't going in there and asking for Crown or, uh, Cuervo Gold or any of that crap. It was all shelf drinking. But remember when you were a teenager and you drank too, you didn't give a crap what it was. As long as you were drinking, you just drank. I mean, MD 2020, when I was 15, 16 in that area and stuff, we'd go pick that up at the little store where we knew the guy would sell to us, and we'd go buy it and we'd drink that stuff. I mean, and let me tell you, MD 2020 should be outlawed. It's worse than freaking paint thinner to me. But we just went crazy. And that's the other thing that drives me a little crazy is, Smirnoff vodka, for example. I remember back in the day, Smirnoff and them were trash. Now they're considered one of the brands of today. And it's just weird how everything changes, I guess is the easiest way to put it. But we had a great time. I mean, don't get me wrong, we had fun. But man, I'm lucky to have even made it to 30 years old. I always told my wife I'd never make it to 35. Now I blame her because I made it past 35, because I'll tell you right now, if it wasn't for her, I'd probably be dead. And yeah, I mean, we had a lot of fun. I mean, we did some crazy stuff. We remodeled a bar, and when we opened it up, it was insane. We worked day and night, sometimes 24 hours a day with a little help. And by the time the bar came to opening, I couldn't even talk. Well, I lost my voice and everything else, and it was crazy. But we thought we were slick. We were there at the bar, and we were drinking for free, and we were working on the bar and changing it up. And opening night, one of the cops that was working the door for us calls me over and he goes, "You do know that I saw you guys and the stuff you were doing. Every now and then I'd come by and stick my head through the window and see what I could see." And he goes, "You guys are lucky that it was me and not one of the other ones." And to be honest with you, yeah, I'm very lucky because some of the stuff I did that I will not talk about on here could have got me in a lot of trouble. A lot of trouble. Um, yeah, I mean, between selling and using different stimulants and stimulation and party favors, I'm lucky to be alive. Really, honestly and truly. I lived in the 80s, man. I should tell you everything. I mean, we were crazy, crazy, crazy. Um, when MTV came out and stuff, you know, I remember that first video that came out on MTV. And question is do you? Uh, but yeah, we had a lot of fun with all, you know, everything, and we did a lot of crazy stuff. But the one thing I will say is that I'm glad that I didn't at 18 or 19 or even 20, 21 for that matter, run and get married. My wife and I were together for 10 years before we got married. Um, on and off, you know. Every now and then I'd be a dumbass and do something stupid, and you know, thinking it was grass was always greener on the other side. Let me tell you guys, you're not ready to get married at 18 or 19, even 20. 21's, you know, you got to have some life experience. Because if you don't, you go and you marry that person you just met. I mean, that you've been going to school with and everything else, and you've known them for years or whatever. 9 out of 10 times they're not gonna make it, man, because they've had no life experience, you know. And then you've got I've only been with this one person ever, and someone else comes along and starts talking to you, making you feel better, and then you start wondering, well, what if, and then next thing you know, you're cheating, and then there's a divorce, and now the kids have to go back and forth every other week, and it's just nasty. So my advice to everybody on the now what side of it is live life a little bit before you just go jump into that new life of marriage, kids, work. Because at 18 and 19, your your brain and your body's saying, let's have fun, let's go do this, let's go do that. And once you get married and you start having kids, you ain't doing that. And if you are, then you're a shitty parent because you you can't have your cake and eat it too. You're gonna have to decide one or the other. And a lot of these kids nowadays, you know, because you know that girl's the first one that kissed him and touched his thingy or did this or did that, and he feels like he's in love and he's got to marry her. No, 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 no. There's someone else out there that's gonna do the same thing, maybe even better. You need life experience, and that's just what I say. I mean, I'm just a old bastard who don't know any better, I guess. But to be honest with you, I've seen so much craziness and did so much craziness that I'm speaking from my side of the fence. My side of the fence says live life for a little bit, meet other people, do other things, do. I'm not saying go out and do them, you know. I'm saying go out and do other things. What you do is up to you. But just because this one makes you feel good and you're 18 years old and you say you're in love, the only thing you've ever really loved is your parents and your puppy. How are you going to commit your life, the rest of your life, to that relationship when that's the only relationship you've ever known? Perfect example is a friend of mine from high school. He and his girl been dating since junior high, and they had been talking about as soon as they graduated they were getting married, blah 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 blah. I get on Facebook finally after a million years, and you know, start getting some of my friends from high school as friends and stuff like that, and I see his girlfriend from back then. She didn't marry him. Like like I said, they were only with each other all the way through high school, junior high and high school, and they were going to get married and all this stuff. And lo and behold, when she went to college, she met somebody better, somebody who let her enjoy life. And boy, let me tell you, she's got a good life now. And him, unfortunately, he passed away. Um, that was me knocking on wood, sorry. So, you know, again, if you with someone from junior high into high school and everything else, two pieces of advice I give, but that's just me. One, if she wants to go to a college that's far away, let her. If she comes back and you want her back then get back together. You're not going to make it on a long distance relationship. Tell you that right now, it doesn't happen. Very seldom does it ever happen. If it does, there's always those oddities. But for the most part, like I say to people, is go out there, have your fun, experience life before you start your adult life. Have a little fun. Go out with your boys. Go out and party. You know, go out and have a good time. Enjoy yourself. Be a whore if that's what you want to be. Be a whore. I was, and I think I turned out okay. I mean, shit, my wife's been with me for 40 plus, married and stuff. You know, we've been together for quite a long time, and yeah, like I said, I blame her for me still being alive and being in the shape I am right now. But I guarantee you that if we had met early on and, you know, when I was a teenager and everything else, we probably wouldn't be here today. I wouldn't be sitting here talking to you probably. I'd have probably been, who knows? Who knows? More than likely, I'd be dead. And that's not a lie. That is not a lie. But that's kind of where I'm going with a lot of this stuff. Is this channel is going to be me just talking about different things like that. Everything I want to, I don't know if you call it wisdom, you call it insanity, whatever you want to call it. But me personally, I'm telling you, you're not ready to be married at 18 or 19. 20 is still iffy to me. 21 is really, I was surprised when we ended up after, we didn't actually get engaged even until further down the road, but we started seeing each other when I was 21. It was crazy how we met, and it was funny because, you know, I could have been back then, and here's a perfect example of it. I was tired of being a whore. I could have went home with her the first time I met her. I was the one that said no. I can't believe it either. Sorry about that, guys. Someone decided to bang on my door with that big note I have out there that says, please don't knock, day sleeper. Didn't work. You know how that goes. Anyways, yeah, so I just hope you guys, if you get anything out of this, you know, you decide where you want to go and how you want to do it and stuff, especially you teenage guys out there and you grandparents, show your grandkids this if you want to or whatever. But yeah, I would flat out say give it some time, see where you're at, things like that. I do apologize for that little break just now, but yeah, we'll pick up some more of this a little bit later. I'm going to try to keep these around 15 to 20 minutes max. Try to get these out every day to you guys as I build them up, and I hope to see you on the next one. I'm out, man. Talk to you later.